Hey guys, oops, let me make sure the Wi-Fi's okay. Sorry. Okay, so we're back.
Hi.
Sorry. Hello.
We had to make sure the Wi-Fi was on.
Yeah, it wasn't, so it just would have been choppy and I would have ruined the whole video. A few things. So we're gonna do a Facebook Live today. I have Jessica's with me.
Hi guys, I'm Coach Jessica.
And when you sign on, guys, we're gonna give it a few seconds. When you sign on, it looks like I can invite some of you, so I'm gonna do that. When you guys sign on, just say hi, what's up? You know, the usual, love you. So excited to see you. I don't know. I'm gonna invite people. Let's invite some people.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've never done one of these before.
I didn't even know about this until the other day. I saw that you can start inviting. And the other thing that I wanted to tell you guys, if you can still see me while I'm doing this, the other thing I wanted to tell you guys is I don't know where to look when the phone's sideways. It's been an ongoing problem when people have taken photos of me or selfies that I'm the only one looking in the wrong spot. So when I do that this whole time, please don't laugh. We could laugh, it's fine. I'm just letting you know that I'm aware of the situation. I'm going to invite a few more people. And then when you guys are on, because I think it's good to have a conversation together. And when you're on, it's so much more fun. And then everyone can obviously watch the playback. Okay.
Yay.
Do I press that?
I don't know.
Hi, we're back.
There we go.
Oh, look, see? Some people came on.
Hi guys.
Hello. What we wanted to talk about today is finding your why. Hi, Brandy. Hey. We won't tell. So we want to talk about finding your why, and we want to talk about respecting your goals, and then we want to talk about a few things about, hi Kelsey, about making, when we're frustrated about not making progress, we're going to talk about that too.
Yeah. So I wanted to start with finding your why and what that really means. So what I think finding your why is like really finding that the core of your goals. And for me, it helps me, just gives me structure in my day. It reminds me of why I'm choosing certain things, because every day you have choices to either respect your goals or not respect your goals. And it just really helps me give structure to my day for that.
See, I love that, guys, because here's the deal. Jessica's lost, you've lost 50 pounds, right?
Yeah.
50 pounds. Now, hello, Chantal. Oh, you're so sweet. So with that, obviously that took a really long time. Jess, how long did that take you? Total?
Probably about 3 years.
3 years. Yeah. Not 12 weeks, right?
No.
So here's the thing. This is going to be, Jessica now has adopted this as her way of life and gotten consistency over time.
Absolutely.
But with each small decision, right? Each small decision led to this big change in her, which was losing 50 pounds, which is a lot. And now she went on to competing, which is I get goosebumps. That is freaking unbelievable. But it all started with this. So Jess found her why. So why did you want to, what was your why? Do you want to share just a couple of things that motivated you?
Originally, my why was, like a lot of people, is aesthetic. I just wanted to look better. I wanted to feel better. And then it transformed as time went on. It changed into something else. When I started, it was the aesthetic goal. And then I would hit that goal, and then it wasn't good enough. So I kind of tried to rethink my mindset to what does this mean for me? And my daughter was in the hospital at one point, and we didn't know what was wrong with her. She was in the ICU for almost a month, 30 days, and I get goosebumps because it happened 3 years ago. Almost,
the anniversary.
And the anniversary is coming up. So long story short, she was sick, not feeling well, and just looked like she had a cold, and then all of a sudden she wouldn't wake up. So we took her to the doctor. They thought she had leukemia. They thought she had a brain tumor. They did all sorts of stuff. They figured it out. She's okay now. But at that moment, I was I am never.
What was wrong again? She had meningitis. Right?
She had meningitis.
Yeah.
And they never.
So this was it was really scary because you were are they going to find out in time? And this is a total obviously flipped your whole entire family upside down.
Oh my gosh.
And then it was a complete, when you have that moment, like, you want to take control of your health, right?
Absolutely.
So that was kind of like, sometimes, guys, I was listening to a podcast, and it's like, you hit rock bottom, and that will make you change, right? And a lot of people are like, I don't want to hit rock bottom.
Oh,
We're not saying that you have to. But some of us, like myself included, Jessica, we needed to have like kind of that aha moment. Like, we are so sick and tired of feeling this way. It's been going on for so long. And a lot of people, you're going to have to find what is really bothering you. Because I noticed a lot of times, Jess and I were just having a conversation before this turned on, that a lot of times we will want it more for our clients, right? We want it so bad for them. And then sometimes we want it more for them than we want it for ourselves.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a reason why, and you don't keep that in the forefront, I tell you guys all the time to make an advantages list. I call it an advantages list. It's like all of the things that you will gain from reaching your fitness goal. Like, even small, stupid stuff.
I use that all the time.
You do? I love it too. It's from the Beck Diet Solution, so I can't take credit for it. But I put it in my notepad on my phone, and I started reading it every single day, because when you have a goal that's big, like competing, building muscle, weight loss, things like that, it takes a lot of time, right? And so oftentimes in the day-to-day, you can be like, I'll just do it tomorrow. Like, this one little choice won't matter, but then you'll end up making all of these little choices that keep adding up and taking you further away.
So instead of making those little choices that take you further away, you can make little choices to get you closer.
And before you know it.
Yeah, before you know it. And it is those little things that add up so huge. It's like having your roadmap and you're taking a cross-country trip. You're not going to go in one day.
Right.
You're not going to go across country in one day. You're going to take, you have to get gas.
You stop.
You have to stop. You gotta sleep. You gotta, there's mile markers. And if you can set yourself up little goals along the way, they really help keep you motivated to continue.
And so with the advantages list, what I think really helps, and you guys can add in, what do you think of the advantages list? If you type stuff, we can see it. If you wake up in the morning and read it, sometimes I would set my phone at certain times to read it at the times that I know that I'm most likely to kind of fall off. Times for me that do that, when I do homework with Nolan, I get super freaking stressed out. Like, he's not like the school kid. He kind of wants to do something. He's very much boy. So I want like sugar. I'm freaking out. I want to like drink wine. And then for me at night, I get the munchies, and Jess can relate. We put the kids to bed, and we're kind of like,
we're like free for all, yay!
Yeah, or no, we feel like we need a reward.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we just made it through a really hard day of momming and working and doing our thing, and we deserve to soothe ourselves. And we had an issue with soothing ourselves only through food.
Right.
And now we're trying to find other things. So that's the next thing that we could do. So remember your why, put it together in an advantages list, right?
Yes.
Find other ways to soothe yourself if food has been how you've soothed yourself and brought you away from your goal.
Absolutely.
And then we actually have, Jess is way more organized than me, guys, so this is going to go great. We have a couple more talking points. And then with that, so we pretty much have the why. Now you guys need to identify it. The thing is, we can't identify that for you, right? Because our why might be completely different than yours. And I've had stuff on my list when I was feeling like I had my desk job. I have alarms at 7. Oh, Kelsey, I love that. Girl, did you just say
7 p.m. that say
yes,
positive, motivating things?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's my girl, Kelsey.
I need to do that.
And then small steps. Exactly. I shut down too, Chantel. Try that listing, and like I said, put the alarms on your phone for those times, because you're not going to remember it, right? When you're kind of in that downward
moment.
Yeah, you're not like, how can I get myself out of this? You're like, give me chocolate. So set the alarm on your phone. It'll just go off. If you have an iWatch, it's awesome because it just vibrates on. Yeah, and you just look at it, and it says, I just put read like advantages list. So I'll do kind of like a code so that only I really know what it is. Because in the book it says like carry around a note card, and I didn't really want anyone to read my note card. Like, I don't know who's gonna actually steal my note card and read it, but I didn't want them to.
Yeah.
So if it's on your phone,
you just need that
discreet.
External cue sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And then even if you don't pull up the notepad and read it, I'll just remind you of it.
Absolutely.
So then we want to talk about respecting your goals, and I love how Jess words this, because self-respect is what will get you from point A to point B with your fitness goals. Right? Because a lot of times when I've gone through the throes of binge eating, I'm not respecting myself.
Absolutely.
And I never looked at it that way until Jess sent this over to me, and I was like, oh, really good point.
Well, yeah, like, well, for example, like, have you ever noticed, like, when you start something, you're like super gung-ho, you're like, I'm gonna make a change, you're so excited, you're gonna do this, and then as time goes on, maybe you don't want to get up early to go to the gym, or you don't want to meal prep that day, or whatever. Like, we are human, and we kind of lose motivation, and that's usually at the point where it starts to get difficult. Yeah.
Hard.
So it is hard. It's hard to change your habits. It's hard to change how you've always lived. Like, it's difficult. So when you respect your goals, like, you know why you want to do those things, and you're going to make those choices to go towards your goals versus away from them.
Yes. And the other thing that we want to hit home is flexible dieting. It makes it easier. It's not easy.
Absolutely.
There's nothing about changing the way that you have done something for years and years and years. A lot of, we don't have teenage clients. Like, I've taken a couple 18-year-olds, but that means that you had a long time to settle in. And I'll tell you guys, the hardest part for me about getting back on stage is that I let myself fall out of my eating habits, which were having scheduled meal times, having healthy snacks on hand, making the choice and not feeling like I would rather have anything else. And that happens over time, where you're like, you sit down to breakfast and you just order an egg white omelet with veggies because you want to feel good, you want to eat well. Focusing on non-scale victories. This is about health, guys, and there's so many people that I see that their motivation is solely contingent on if they see the scale move. And I'm here to tell you that first of all, when you have a lot of weight to lose, sometimes you can get a little bit, the scale will move easier. Yeah. But then when you don't, the scale changes from your hormones, your water, eating out, things like that, they're gonna mess with you way worse. And there's oftentimes that I've had some clients prep and they have lost like 1 pound and their body's completely different. Emily, I don't know if she's on. My one client, Emily MacArthur, that is her. Like, she loses like 1 pound in 20 weeks, and then there's a picture
like
of her,
a completely different body
composition.
composition.
Completely different person.
Yes.
And that's why I really like progress pictures, and I have a lot of people protest them. Like, I don't want to take pictures, but let me tell you, I have been one of those people that's protested it, and I haven't used them as much, and I'm sad that I don't have them, because
I did not want to take them when I started.
Right, no one wants to, guys. Like, no one wants to. No one's happy. That's why you're starting a program, right?
Yeah, but I knew, I was like, I'm in it for the long run. I know this is about being healthier. I wanted to make that change. I did hit my rock bottom. I peeled away those layers, and it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, and we always say peel away the layers. It's like how you're really feeling, right?
Yeah, like if you actually are honest with yourself, like, that's hard to be honest with yourself, and like, 'cause you might not like what you find out.
You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it. And let me tell you, that's the one thing that I want to change about our coaching program. Not that I haven't always done that. I've always challenged you guys. But I'm going to be asking permission more from my clients. Like, may I challenge you about this? And usually it's about a limiting belief that people will have. Because I know that if you signed up, none of us like to do it, girl.
Yeah, we don't.
None of us do, trust me. It's just like awkward, and especially the other thing is, another thing to work on. So I hate taking those progress pictures, because also we probably have an issue with like loving ourselves as we are, right? Yeah. So that's something we need to work on, because a lot of times I'll see an issue crop up, like an issue with the scale, an issue with your pictures, and really what you need to do is work on why you're feeling that way about yourself versus avoiding that thing is, because it's unavoidable. Because even if you don't like those pictures, maybe someone else takes a picture of you and you're being self-critical. Maybe you don't want to take pictures with your kids, and then you're going to get older and you're not going to have any of these pictures with your kids.
All these memories that you're like not a part of, you're like behind the camera because you're too embarrassed.
Right, and maybe you're like, oh, well, not taking these progress pictures, it doesn't matter. But think about the bigger picture, like those things, because it all ties together.
That's funny you said that, because that was actually in my mind when I started this, like back 3 years ago when I had 50 pounds to lose. Like, that was one of the things. Like, I'm always behind the camera. I'm always taking pictures of my kids and my husband, and I wasn't in any of them. Like,
on purpose, right?
Well, yeah, because I was embarrassed of how I looked.
But you probably told everyone, well, who's going to take the picture?
Absolutely, and I was lying to myself.
Right.
I was lying to myself.
And you had like a limiting belief that no one else would be able to, and it's a barrier. Everyone, we do these things to protect ourselves. We don't do these things for any other reason. And so it does get a little emotional and ugly, right?
Yeah.
When you start really getting serious about what's going on. But the sooner you do that, a good coach is going to do that. And a good life partner, a good friend, everything, they're going to help you bring the crap to the surface.
Yeah.
And then you grow and become a better person, which is like, even though you may not, like, we're not always going to see pictures of ourselves and love them, right?
Right.
But you'll be aware, hey, I'm being hard on myself. I don't like how I'm talking to myself right now. Whereas before, you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
So we really want to start respecting our goals and respecting ourselves. And the first way to do that is going to be being conscious of the decisions you make and ask yourself, is this decision, am I respecting myself? Am I respecting my goals when I make this decision?
Yeah. I had a little example that I wrote out for you, just to kind of like put it into perspective. Like, let's say you wanted to be a lawyer and you'd take all the required classes, you'd study your butt off, you'd prepare yourself for your exams. Like, you're a nurse. Like, you didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to be a nurse tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
Like, no, you had to go to school. You had to do
prereqs.
You had to do all these
things.
Get
into nursing school.
So you would respect your goal of wanting to be a lawyer. You would do the work. You would go to school. You would do all those little things leading up to this big goal. So it's the same thing, and the same level of respect can be expected for any goal you want to achieve, even if that's losing 10 pounds or fitness, anything.
I love that. I love that. That is such a good point. Yeah, oh, we got 1 thumbs up. Wait, why aren't we getting more thumbs ups? Isn't this good? No, I'm just kidding. But that is such a good point, that things take time. Absolutely. And you have to put in the work. It doesn't just happen overnight. You're not just going to magically know exactly what the weights are in all of your foods. You're not going to magically know what's in all foods. You're not going to magically know, you're not going to, you might not even love working out.
Yeah.
In general. Well, I love working out.
I like it,
but
I've learned to like it.
You didn't like it when you first went. You were like, this sucks.
I didn't want to.
Right, no one wants. So things evolve, but it didn't happen overnight. And now looking back, sometimes, when Jess and I will talk about like us starting out in fitness and who we were then, when we think back, so much has changed. Mm-hmm. And it's just been over time, we've just kept plugging away at it. But there's times now, today, that we don't feel like it. And you have to put in the work, because it doesn't just come. Just having the physique, internal health, external health, things like that. First of all, I always like to focus on the internal health, because if you're eating well for your internal health and you're watching your calories, your external health will follow. I know that you'll be in a deficit, so to some extent you'll have to make some sacrifices with that.
Yeah.
But when you're eating well and you're paying attention to your fullness cues and you're doing all of those things, you're going to have a longer lasting result. And focusing on those things, they're more in your control than focusing on your external appearance and wanting that to change, like waking up every morning checking to see if abs are there yet. If you don't do that, you're going to be happier in the long run, because over time, just plugging away. If I used to, when I was first starting, my very first prep, I used to get on the scale, because I have an online coach too. I think that having a coach is, even if you are a coach, is just really great for accountability. So I would step on the scale every morning, and on the days that it didn't read what I wanted it to read, I asked myself, did I follow my program? Have I followed my program? And if the answer was yes, I let it go. Because all you do is what you can do, and what you're in control of is your effort and your adherence. So if I got on the scale and I knew that I'd been doing what I was going to do, I got off the scale and I didn't mind the answer. The times that I got upset truly was when I was not following my program. That's what got me upset, and I was more upset with myself. Yeah. And at those times, I thought to myself, instead of beating myself up now, I'm not guilty. I I feel regretful. I like to change it. I'll feel regretful.
Right.
And then I'll see what I want to do differently, and then I'll move forward with that new plan of action. And it's okay. We all fall off of our plan. It's not a big deal. We all kind of, but I want to get away from like on and off.
Back. It's how fast you get back to ground zero and getting back on your plan. It's not all or nothing, guys. Like everybody's human.
Everyone's human. And here's the thing. So when you take like
that
a calendar year,
took a lot for me to realize. It's like I had a moment.
It's hard.
Recently
it's hard.
with that. Like I was 100% like to the gram. I was upset at myself if I was not perfect. And that's a lot to live up to every
You're
day.
Not to live up to it, guys.
Every day of your life, like life happens. It's so stressful. And then the second I let go and say, I'm doing the best I can, honestly, the best I can, when I can be honest with myself, like a weight was lifted. Weight.
You do not, that's what I said to somebody recently. I was like, you give your best effort, and if that's an 80% adherence, then that's an 80% adherence, and then we tailor the program to you.
Yes.
But you're gonna have to be aware that if you're not following, you're not gonna get the same results, and that's another thing entirely. You just have to be honest and open, and you have to be realistic about how things are gonna go down, because you use what you can, and then when you take a calendar year, if you have 365 days, if you have 10 days out of those days that weren't great days, that's not going to hurt you. If you have,
because it's the big picture.
It's the big picture. Yeah. But if you are starting out and it's the first 3 weeks and you have 10 days that aren't that great, and out of 21 days, that's probably not really going to show you amazing results. And if you're the person that's like on Monday through Friday and then you're a weekend warrior and things go crazy, you probably undid what you did Monday through Friday, and you're going to find yourself in a vicious cycle.
That's a bad cycle to
get
into.
So I think that when you think of the whole big thing, I remember when I was at my leanest, I had way more flexibility where I could be like eating out and stuff like that, and it didn't hurt. Sticking with it, socially.
You don't want to be that person.
Oh, okay. Brandy just mentioned a comment, and you guys are probably able to see them as they pop up. Not wanting to be that person at a social event. And I want to touch on this, guys, because it's in the Beck Diet Solution too. And let me tell you, no one cares about what they're not worried about.
Probably
you. They're worried
more
about
in your head than it is in theirs.
And when you disappoint others, like there have been times where people will offer me something and I'm like, I don't want that. And then I felt really bad. Like, oh my goodness, I ordered something weird at the restaurant. I didn't eat the cake that somebody wanted me to eat. I told them that I would eat it later. That kind of thing. No one cared.
Yeah.
At first there was resistance because how I was for so long was changing, and you'll meet some resistance from your loved ones with that, because there's a lot of scary things that go through their minds. Like, this person's not going to be the same anymore.
Yeah.
They're not going to love me the same. Our relationship's going to change. No one likes change. Like, humans, we're kind of like, if you heard the analogy with like crabs can climb out of a bucket, but the other crabs pull the crab back down. It's kind of how it is with people. But after a while, that kind of stops. So if you're eating anything or doing something for the sole purpose that you are trying to make someone else happy versus you happy, then you need to reevaluate and not do that anymore. It'll be uncomfortable at first, but eventually it will be a lot better for you in the long run, and people will accept the new you. I used to be like, oh my gosh, everyone around me is a food pusher. You guys don't understand. They all push me. They push me to drink. They push me to do this. You guys must not be around the food pusher as I was. And there is, in the book, it was like, have you been accepting the food and drink from those people? Because then they're like, they're not in their mind pushing, they're sharing.
Just offering. Yeah, they're just like
that's
being polite.
Yeah, that's how they know you, right? Forever. But now it's funny because Eric surprised me last night for my birthday, which was so amazing. And we were all at dinner, and no one like does that to me. No one's like, have a shot, Carrie, because like Carrie doesn't do shots, and people just like know that I don't.
Yeah.
And if I'm like, oh, do you guys want something? Now the girls that I have with me that are prepping on a more regular basis, if they order something different, everyone's respecting the fact that they're prepping, and everyone's cool with it. But at first, they met a lot of resistance from their loved ones.
Absolutely did.
Yeah, and now people are like, oh, you could have ahi, or what about this? And now people are on board.
Yeah.
So you got to get the people on board, Brandy. Be like, hey guys, and if you're cool with whatever you're doing, that's you. But if you're doing it for somebody else, then I would recruit them and be like, Listen, oh, I love that. I love that, Evan. Take, personal responsibility
Yes.
and own it. Like, you own the decision. You'll say, I don't want that drink right now. I don't want that food. Thank you for offering.
And that's it.
My favorite thing is,
Really.
like, radio silence.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need
And
to.
usually
I get
they're
so
just like,
passionate about
okay.
it. Yeah.
They're just like, okay.
And don't feel
What are
the
they gonna
need
say?
to validate and defend yourself.
Mm-mm.
You can make your own decisions for yourself because you're in charge of you and you are in control. I like to say sometimes we can feel out of control, but you're always in charge.
Yeah.
And so if you decide to have dessert that night, if you decide to have a drink, that is your choice. You're in charge. But don't let anyone else take your power of you away.
No, that's great.
Amen, sister.
I love that.
So we've all struggled with that, and I think females especially, right? Because we have a higher tendency, in my experience, just with
people
clients,
please?
to be people pleasers.
Mhm.
All the guys are
People-pleasing
like
addicts.
addicts, and most
Oh
of
my
my
gosh.
guy clients are like, "Oh, I just told him no," and I'm like, oh,
Right?
That's
Yeah.
a novel thought."
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what we wanted to talk about, right? And then
Yeah.
the last thing, I'm just going to leave you guys with this. You have got to be honest with yourself about your results. I see a lot of people impatient about results, and you need to understand, it's back on the respect thing, that a lot of the physiques that you're seeing could possibly be an unrealistic expectation because there are filters on Instagram, there's posing, things like that. Sometimes the people that you're comparing yourself to don't even look like those people in real life. Next, you have to
I
understand.
also want to say something about
Yeah.
comparing yourself to people like on Instagram or social media or whatever. You can't compare. Have you heard this thing like, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10? I'm going to take that a step further. Don't compare. It's not the same book.
It's not the same book at all. That's a
At
really good
all.
point.
It's not the same book. It's not even the same chapter. It's like how to be a plumber versus how to be a hairstylist. Like, it's not even the same book. So
This is
you
that's-
cannot compare yourself to other people. What you have to do is what you have to do. Your why. You respect your goals. You make the changes in your life. Your life is a lot different than mine. And
I
my
love
life
that.
is a lot different than yours.
Yes, I love that. Schedules, things like that,
Yeah.
the commitment, the time that you'll have available to train and such is going to be very different for
Yeah.
each other. So don't compare.
And
but
you're
you
also
need to
fun.
understand, you do need to understand though that some of the things that you might be like, well, this person worked out for this long and looks like this. That person probably doesn't even look like that picture.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, James Patrick did a whole article about, he was like, hey, Carrie, can I show them how I photoshopped your cover for a magazine? And I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
yes, show everyone.
Yeah.
Because I don't even look like that picture.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I think it's important to remember that, and also remember that it takes time to get in shape. It
Yes.
does not happen quickly. Those detoxes, those fads, those kinds of things that are going on, the weight that you will lose in that time is usually just water weight, and if it's more than body fat, it's muscle, and that ultimately is going to decrease your metabolism over time. So
Yeah.
you don't want to lose weight that way. I know that patience and slow is like not
It's not
sexy.
going to sell, you know,
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
so
not
not sexy.
like everyone wants the fast, quick fix. Like, how many times? I mean, I went for years, like losing the same 20 pounds, losing, gaining, because I was doing fad diet after fad diet after fad diet. Like, you name it, I've tried it. The second I tried, like, to stop and just focus on health versus aesthetics, obviously I wanted to look better, but like I went at it in a health perspective.
Yeah.
Versus just, I want to lose this weight.
Because you took Jessica took her vision, off the aesthetics.
Yes.
Because if you're waking up every morning thinking that every day you're going to look better and better and better in a linear fashion, it doesn't happen.
No.
Because there's some days that you're like, I feel bloated. Some days like I'm not like you don't want to pick yourself apart. You just want to put your head down and get to work.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to leave you guys with, because I do see a lot of people complaining, but they're not adhering.
Yeah.
And you can't do the same thing. 2 + 2 is going to be 4. Always going to be 4. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect 2 + 2 to be 5.
Yeah, you have to change.
If nothing changes, nothing changes.
Yep.
So, and the other, I just want to leave you guys with, I was kind of like, I'll complain to Eric sometimes about, well, all the time about random stuff. Complain to Eric randomly about stuff. And I was saying, people will be like, hey, Carrie, just go back to, you know, some of the foods that you were eating when you were prepping for so long if you want to get back on stage. And I'm like, well, I'll be bored. I want to eat some of that stuff. Well, guess what? I'm really freaking fed up and sick of not getting back on stage.
Yeah.
So you have to think about it, guys. Like, pick your heart, right? Because it's hard to feel crappy about yourself. It's hard.
It's hard not to want to be in that family picture.
Yeah, that's
like
hard.
Really looking down at it, like I didn't want to be in my family pictures. And that's like sad. Like I want to cry about it right now.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like it's emotional.
Sucks. And so it's like, what is hard? Is it hard to prep? Sometimes.
Yeah.
Is it inconvenient to go to the gym? Sometimes. But is it inconvenient to feel bad about yourself? Is it inconvenient? Hey, is it inconvenient to have low self-esteem? Is it inconvenient to not have good confidence? Is it inconvenient to not be setting that great example for your kids?
Is it inconvenient to be out of breath walking upstairs?
Yeah, or hiding from social events?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
like there's choices, and you can respect your goals daily. And sometimes, some days you might have to remind yourself of those goals many times, and some days are going to be easier than others. So.
Right, especially if you're girl and you have PMS. Sure. Oh, I love you too. I had to put your name. Oh,
hi.
You might.
Super sweet.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Thank you.
I can't read the rest.
I appreciate
that.
that.
But I'm so glad I got Jess on with me, guys. We won't keep you forever. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope it helped, motivated you. Get excited about your why. Get excited about respecting your goals, and be patient and reap the results. And keep that fresh in your mind that pick your hard.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Pick it.
All right. See you
Thanks,
guys
guys.
soon.